Welcome back, everybody, for another episode of Couples Coverage. I am here with my novio, Nicholas Moreano, and I'm Stephanie Abonce.
And we switched the intro for this episode.
Running this ship today.
You are running. Well, that's interesting because the topic is definitely going to be me.
I know.
Running this show.
I had to take some sort of control.
There you go. And you took it right from the beginning. You did a great job with the intro. Babe, we're recording this on a Tuesday, but we had a pretty eventful Labor Day weekend. I felt like we were everywhere.
Now, if today feels like a Monday because we had such a long weekend. But we did. We started with Friday date night.
And we went to the one, I don't remember exactly what it's called.
It's Corked.
Corked?
Corked Wine Bar or something like that.
Yeah.
But there's this really cute town close to us. I don't know if anyone out there watches Gilmore Girls, but it gives me that vibe where everything just feels so towny. Every shop looks like a house. Mm-hmm. And it's like you go there and it feels like fall for some reason.
It does. And it feels like it's perfect for like a Halloween town too.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, and with Halloween kind of coming up and fall coming up, so it's got those vibes for sure.
Yeah, but there is this really nice wine patio that we've been passing by all summer, or we've passed by a few times this summer, and we kept trying to go, and then something either like they were taking no reservations or something.
Yeah, or it was just packed at the time we tried. Yeah.
So we finally got to go, and it was really nice.
It was very nice, and I'm not a big old-fashioned guy. Like I don't know, whiskey, I don't know, it's just not my thing, but I got an old-fashioned there. It tasted really good, and you had 2 glasses of wine, delicious wine out, right?
Very good wine. Yeah, I'm not the biggest wine I mean, I love wine, but I still go for the very sweet wines. So I don't think I have that I don't know, knowledge about wine and the more mature taste,
the bitterness. Yeah,
I still like the sweet, fruity.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
I think it tastes good. But we were there on Friday night, and then Saturday. Did we do anything before we went up to Wisconsin?
On Saturday?
I don't think we did anything Saturday morning-ish. We just kind of got ready to go.
Went to the gym.
Oh yeah, we did go to the gym.
We worked out together for the first time in so long.
It's been a while. And how are you feeling? Still feeling pretty sore? Yeah. What did we do? Back and shoulders?
You kicked my butt.
Yeah, had to. So and like you said, we hadn't been able to do that for a while because
we don't go to the same gym.
No, we used to.
That was really the one thing that was kind of not intimidating to me, but before I did a lot of cardio, did a lot of at-home workouts because the gym really intimidated me. Mm-hmm. So honestly, just through dating, I felt like I got so much more comfortable at just going to the gym.
That's good. Yeah, I mean.
But it's still nice when we get to go together because I still feel like I've learned my routines and stuff that I like, but when we go, it's still always new things. You always make me try new things.
Yeah, and it's always good just having a workout buddy. Right, you can.
My workout buddy.
Yeah, you can push you a little bit. I know. on a couple sets, I'm like, all right, we can do one more set, one more rep. And
I'm like, no, I can't.
Add the weight a little bit. I'll help you up a little bit. But we did that before we end up going to first Milwaukee. Mm-hmm. Went to the Milwaukee Zoo. Got to see. I mean, they have a bunch of animals there. Just a bunch of different. They have peacocks just roaming around the entire place.
It's been forever too. I can't even remember the last time I went to the zoo. So that was an experience. We also did those little what are those called? They have them at ski resorts where you get on the lift.
Is that
no gondola? No. I don't think that's right.
It's not.
I don't think so. But those lifts that go up, and honestly, those are really scary.
Wait, it's not a gondola?
Gondolas are the things that you put outside.
Oh, shoot. That's way different. Yeah, it's like the ski lift.
Yeah.
But except we obviously didn't go skiing. It was just you kind of tour the one section of the park. Mm-hmm. Got to see the elephants from there, the ostriches, I think it was an ox or something, some kind of bull.
I don't know. But I just remember it doesn't look that scary from the bottom, but then you get on and it feels shaky and you start to see how it's hanging on. And I was kind of panicking a little bit.
Yeah, it's a kind of an uneasy feeling. Yeah, I'm not a fan of it either, but it was pretty quick, and we were able to kind of get on and off pretty quickly. But the zoo though itself, it's nice to like. I feel like when you're younger, it's like, oh, you get to go to the zoo. But even when you're, now the age that we are, it's like you can appreciate some of the animal, just the cool uniqueness of all the different animals that are there.
But then you also understand the other side of it, and you're like, well, this is really sad, and I'm feeling really bad for being here.
Yeah, it's like, you look at let's say the leopard, for example, that was like there, and he was right next to the window, so we got a really cool like up close and personal, and then the tiger too. But like, it's such a confined space. Yes, they're probably helping them, not obviously encounter stuff that they would in the wild, which is unpredictable, but because it's a very controlled environment. But it's such a small environment, and you do feel bad for some. You do feel bad for the animals.
I do.
I do like looking at the reptiles, though. They're fine. They're cool.
Yeah, we spent way too long at the reptiles. I was ready to go.
Snakes, lizards, all those guys. I love them. And the tarantulas. They're not reptiles, but I can look at those guys all day.
Yeah, I know. You had fun in that little exhibit. But then we went from there.
Milwaukee.
And then we went to Milwaukee. Oh, no, we went
Milwaukee
further.
Beaver Dam, Wisconsin.
Beaver Dam. We were visiting our friends. Hi, Nick and Tiff.
Nick will be watching this episode and like listening at work, like, yes, there's my shout out.
Yeah.
It was good. Yeah, it was good hanging out.
Birthday. They always have really fun yard games and stuff, so it's always a great time going over there. I know. I won. Is that what you're gonna say?
Yeah, and what is it?
Croquet.
Croquet. I was in the lead for, a good majority, or I was kind of back and forth with my buddy Nick, but I was in the lead, and then I remember going over to you. You're probably gonna finish somewhere in like fourth or something like that.
I know.
And it's
so
right
rude.
after that, everything turned.
Came back and won the whole game.
Came back and won. What else did you? Oh, the
dominoes.
Dominoes too. You won, so I was winning
hot
in this game.
Saturday.
Yeah,
it's on a winning streak.
You're on a winning streak. I was really surprised on the croquet. Like, I thought I was just gonna, win that hands down easily, and nope. That's
why it was like way more satisfying for me to win. I was telling the whole time, like, no, guys, he can't win. He can't win.
And I did. I think I came in like fourth or something like that. But I also lost because I got about 1 million different mosquito bites all on my lower legs. Like, it's, where you just can't resist itching.
Yeah.
Like, if you see me going like this, it's because I'm, itching some mosquito bites. So
I know. I actually didn't get them that bad this summer.
No, I neither did I until this past weekend, and they just tore me up. So
they like your ankles.
Yeah, they love the ankles. They're just like, that's a very vulnerable spot, and boom,
gotcha.
Yeah. So that was Saturday, and then Sunday we went in the complete opposite direction.
Sunday we had a city day
in Chicago, so went to Chicago the opposite direction, but we were kind of all over the place, and then
Sunday we had family day, then went to the beach.
That was
yesterday.
Yeah.
No, yesterday.
No, wait,
that was Monday. What did we do Sunday?
Sunday was Chicago.
Oh, Sunday was Chicago.
This is like it all mixes in, and yeah. So Monday, today's Tuesday.
Yeah,
today's Tuesday. Right. Monday we went by my parents. Also went to the Waukegan Beach, which I hadn't been to in a while. It's they're making some nice like adjustments to it and making some nice additions to it, which is really cool.
Yeah, I loved it. I still want to go a few more times.
Yeah, well, it's still hot, so we might as well try to take advantage of it while we can, because the weather is turning, and we're turning into the topic of this, what the main topic of this show is. And it's so fitting because we're eventually going to get to those cooler temps, the fall weather, and that brings my favorite time of the year. It's football time. You're in my realm. So you started off the show kind of kicking us off, introducing everything. But our topic for today's show is about football and kind of what it means to me and what it means to you, and like how different it is, and also I think what you've come to appreciate about it, but also at the same time, you know what it means when it comes to this point of the year, like how it gets.
Can I ask you something though?
Of course you can.
if it weren't for football season, do you think fall would still be your favorite time of the year?
I mean, you're taking out like a huge part, like, I mean,
What do you mean?
I love, well, you said like take out football, like football season.
Yeah, like forget football for a second. Like season wise, is fall still your favorite? Because I know, like, for you, you associate fall time. Oh, football is back, and I think that's why a lot of guys love fall. But yeah, aside from that,
I do. I mean, I kind of like hoodie weather. I like wearing jackets, jeans. They go better with my Jordans that I wear. So, but I do. I mean, summer. Okay, taking out the football element of it, they're very close.
summer and fall.
I probably put summer over it in terms of just seasons, just because you can be outside and obviously like just enjoy. I mean, summer in Chicago, it's amazing, and suburbs obviously too. But
Yeah.
yeah, I put a slight head to summer, but when you think of fall, you also have to think about football.
Okay, because I'm still like trying to hang on to every bit of summer. I feel, well, actually, you know what? Growing up, I didn't like summer. I hated it. I didn't like wearing like shorts. Or maybe it's when you're younger and you still don't feel like comfortable in your own skin, and you're just like trying to cover up as much as possible. So growing up, I mean, as a girl maybe, but now I love summer, and it makes, and you know what though? I do get excited once I start to see some of the fall stuff come up, when everyone talks about like Halloween, and you hear all like the like especially if you go on TikTok, everything's like Monster Mash, and it's kind of exciting.
Oh yeah.
But that it's still hot outside, I still just want to like hold on to that.
I think so. I mean, it's like it's been a bunch of hot days lately.
Yeah.
And it's been nice to kind of enjoy that, but it's time. It's time at the record. So we're recording this on Tuesday. 2 days will be the first NFL football game. I'm looking forward. I will be watching that. Chiefs and Lions Thursday night. Be a good game. But yeah, let's get into it, babe. Like, I think when we first met, like, football had to have been brought up. There's no way that it wasn't brought up because of how much it kind of means to me.
I think it was brought up, but briefly. I don't think it was a huge part in the beginning.
Maybe it wasn't, but I think
I
like that's just something that I identify with. So it would be weird if I didn't mention something about it, like either playing football in high school, or a I was Big Bears fan, or I was doing like some kind of blog, or like if we talked about what we did.
Here's the thing. In the beginning, I had no previous knowledge about football. Like, I didn't grow up watching football. My family is not into sports. My mom watches soccer, but aside from that, there's no sport that we watched or that I grew up. I played soccer actually too, but I didn't really even grow up watching that. But anyway, so I think if you were to have mentioned it in the beginning, I don't think there was a lot that I could have added to the conversation, because I didn't even know what to ask at that point.
True.
It was so like foreign to me that I'm just like, cool. Like, I didn't know what you were talking about, aside from like, okay, there's this important game. Okay, cool. I don't know why it's important or anything really. Like, I remember listening to, well, when I eventually started listening to the podcast, I was more so just looking and being like, oh, he's cute, but not like having any idea what you were saying.
Yeah, when I was doing like a Bears podcast. And,
Yeah.
no, I mean, that makes sense. And like you said, you didn't even go to like high school football games, or and I played in high school, but it wasn't, I mean, we started dating, and not too long after took you probably your first football game too, I would assume.
Yes. I'm trying to think, was my first football game the Iowa one or the Bears one?
I think it was the Bears one, or I don't know actually. It could have been, actually no, it could have been neither one. Now that I'm like going back and forth in my brain, but it was before COVID. No, it was after. Before.
It must have been before.
Yeah, it must have been before, because then there was no fans the next season.
And that's why we weren't able to go next season.
Yeah, that next season. But went to a Bears Lions game, and I think I think they won that game. Yeah, they won that game.
Did they? Oh yeah, they did.
Mm-hmm.
They did.
They won, but that was like your first time being around like
The
you know,
tailgates, the
tailgate.
environment.
Yeah. I mean, what did you remember just thinking back to that? Thinking about like all that goes into what a football experience on Sundays is like.
How cold it was.
That's true. We went in December or somewhere around there, December, November.
But I guess it's hard for me to remember that far back now. I think at that point I did have more knowledge of it. I do remember it being so different watching it on TV versus watching it in person.
Yeah,
I felt a little
sure.
bit lost in person because on TV you have all the different like graphics that show up and like show you, and it makes it just easier to follow. And in person, I was like, I can barely even see what's happening. Where the heck is the ball? Like, I didn't know what was going on.
No, it's definitely. I think football is a TV sport, no doubt about it. Like it's just a better experience to watch when it's on TV. Like when I go to the games and I have to watch from the press box, it's great. You have a great view, but they also have TVs up there, so I'm like glancing down at the field, glancing up there because I can see a little bit better. And you're so high up, but no, for sure, it's definitely different. And like we've been to a couple of cool, I would say, venues. I would say we went to Iowa, and you got to be a part of like a college football game, which is way different from NFL. And we got to be a part of like the Wave at Iowa, which is like everybody in the stadium waves at the Children's Hospital that overlooks Kinnick Stadium. And like these kids are going through obviously, some very major health issues and things like that, and just taking the time after the first quarter to just sit or stand, wave at the kids that are overlooking the stadium. It's like a very feel good moment for sure.
We talked about, I think we mentioned that in one of our previous episodes.
Maybe we did.
We did.
We're 7 episodes in now. Like, let's kind of get mixed into exactly what we do here. But yeah,
yes, love that. For sure, a completely different feeling, like college football versus just like a NFL game, or at least the one that we went to. But I would say both are really fun. And I say this for every sporting event. Like, I know there are people who maybe aren't that big into sports, but going there is such a like, it doesn't matter if you don't know what's going on. It just is fun to go to, and just to be in that environment is always really, really fun.
Yeah, for sure. And another really fun experience we had was when we went to an Iowa Northwestern game in Northwestern, Evanston. And, I think people really just let loose when they were over there. Brett.
Yeah.
How you doing, buddy?
It's almost time again.
Yeah, it's almost that time again. But no, we have a really good time. We have like a bunch of my family and just friends all get together, get into a specific spot in a parking lot, and you got different types of foods, desserts, drinks. And honestly, at that point, it didn't even really matter what happened at the game. We were kind of just hanging out, playing bags, throwing the football. I remember there was a guy in a corn suit giving out shots and things like that. Like it was a whole like vibe. And that's what's really fun about like football. Yes, like maybe for someone who's not into the sport, like, and maybe the game, like that's fine. You can still have an amazing time.
Yeah.
Just hanging out with friends and just being at a tailgate.
Yes, especially like that if you get a big group. That was a big shocker to me, going to our first, when we went to the Bears game and seeing how everyone just goes all out for the tailgates. Honestly, like I said, this was just not something that was in my radar. This is like nothing I paid attention to before. So I didn't even know those were a thing.
Tailgates?
I had heard the word tailgate a million times, but I had never seen one.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, wow, this is what people do. No wonder they have so much fun at the games, because everyone goes like liquored up. Doesn't matter what happens. You warm up in a cold game.
Yeah, especially in a cold game. Like that's how you got to do it. You just got to get your liquor blanket on and go to a game and feel good about it. But yeah, that's why it's that's for me. Like even when my uncle who introduced me to football, it wasn't really my dad. It was like my uncle who took me to my first Bears game back in 2007. We honestly never really went to tailgates.
No.
So my first like experience with it was when I went to college at Iowa. But like I remember when I was a kid, just we would get on the train, go to Chicago, go to Soldier Field, and like you'd see all these crazy Bears fans, and we would kind of walk through like where tailgates were happening and seeing the craziness that was going on there. But
You also see the most random things at tailgates. Like I
right.
remember seeing someone walking around with a pumpkin on his head.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, there's you also see like random jerseys that are not affiliated with the two teams that are playing in a game. Sometimes they're just honestly there to watch football. I get that. Like there are crazy football fans that, you know, I would say Brett is like a very you know, Sundays are his day.
He's going to be a fan favorite of the show just because how much we mention him.
I know, yeah.
We're going to have to get him on one day.
I know, we're going to have to get him on. But, like, Sundays, we've seen, like, the memes and GIFs of husbands giving to their wives, like, a contract. Sorry, from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Sundays. Also, Mondays from 7 to 10:30. Thursdays from 7 to 10:30. I will not be available to help out with anything.
That's where I clock out. That's where I check out. I'm not good with that.
I'm not saying it's right, but I just know that's how it is. Whether it's like guys in their fantasy football and, I'm in a couple of leagues.
You don't agree. You don't agree, but you found it very funny.
Well, look, I'm working though. So I'm working on Sundays. I'm covering the Bears, but it is awesome. I love it. And 2 days there actually be a game, and it'll be great.
If it could just be one game a week.
It is one game a week. Oh,
no.
Oh, yeah.
Like in general, football. If there could be just one game per week, or if, but there's not. It's like all these. I'm like, why is there so much? 6 months out of the year, I'm gonna start getting angry. Why does it take over for that long? And why is there so many games? I get it, but it's like, oh my gosh, it's like 4 days out of the week. I'm very glad that you aren't someone who feels a need to watch like every single game that's on, because then we would have some problems.
Well, I mean, ideally, I would like to watch more football other than the one that I cover. And sometimes I just gotta do it for work, like I gotta watch the game because the Bears are gonna play that opponent a couple weeks from now, and so I gotta take notes and just selfishly watch the game, and it's fun.
Clocked out.
Clocked out. Before you clock out officially, gotta tell everybody about Owen. And if you're looking for a new protein shake, something that's healthy and only has the ingredients that you absolutely need, only what you need, you gotta check out Owen if you want 100% plant-based, 0 net carbs, non-GMO, 100% gluten-free, 100% vegan. Owen's gonna be the way to go. And if you've been watching the previous 6 episodes of Couples Coverage, you'll know that Owen and Couples Coverage got a good partnership going on here. Actually, if you use the code CC15 at checkout, you'll save 15% off your first order. So what I recommend, you just look on their website, go to liveowen.com and check out everything they have to offer. They have the pre-made shakes like the No Nut Buttercup, 32 grams of protein, really healthy, really good for you. Or you can get some of the powders and pre-made shakes that are 20 grams of protein, like this one right here, the dark chocolate. Just stock up, and then use that code CC15 to save 15% off your order, and a little bit of that will come back to us. So not only are you helping yourself, you're helping us here at Couples Cover. It's like a win-win situation here. So I know we both had our Owen shakes earlier today, and just want to give a shout out and a thank you to Owen.
Woo! Thanks, Owen.
Where do we want to take this football conversation? Because I think you were kind of getting into the struggles with it.
I was getting heated.
You were getting heated a little bit.
No. Okay, maybe a little bit. I was getting heated a little bit. You know what? I think, like I said in the beginning, I think just as you normally do if you're talking to someone new, you start to find interest in the things that they find interest in, and seeing how excited you are about it, and just learning more about it, sometimes without even trying. Just, I think, learn through hearing you talk about it. I started to catch on to things, made more sense to me. So I do think I became a lot more invested. It's very fun for me to watch games now, Bears games specifically. But now we're kind of like, I'm like relearning again. Okay, let me like the sport again because now it means something different.
You know, before we kind of go there though, because I'll be mentioning players and you're like, oh, Jaquan Brisker, like you'll finish the names because you know them, which is it's been pretty awesome to see, like, you know, where you started. Really not knowing anything about like the sport, the players, the teams, and then you're invested. Like there are players that. And unfortunately, there have been some players that you have been invested in and are no longer on the team. But that's also a part of the learning process, I think, right?
Yes. I kind of take it as, like, for example, when I was teaching, I will always remember my first class because it was the first time I had ever experienced it. I can still like tell you everyone who was in my class. That's kind of how I felt for the first team that I started watching. Got invested in all the players. Knew them. I take it more as like, oh, this profession is so like harsh, like cutting all these people, like there's no loyalty in this game. And then end up getting like upset because people just get cut left and right, and it's just a business, you know.
It is, yeah. And I mean, you have an Akeem Hicks jersey. That was your guy, Akeem Hicks.
Loved Akeem Hicks.
David Montgomery's gone. He's actually going to be playing in 2 days.
That one is still so upsetting to me.
Yep, on the Lions.
Khalil Mack.
You have a Khalil Mack shirt, and you have a bunch. Well, I think I've given you a lot of Bears stuff, but you do have a lot of Bears gear to rock whenever you really want to. You have it for every occasion, I would say.
I'm excited to wear my Funko.
Oh yeah! Oh man, we should have brought that on here. Yeah, that's
maybe I'll wear it one episode.
Yeah.
Once it starts getting cold, it's way too hot for a Funko right now.
Yeah.
But I've learned a lot, and it definitely made it like more exciting to watch. A lot more invested. Last season, I actually learned. You got me into betting.
Yeah, you're making some money.
I was making money. Now I'm excited. That's the part I am excited about. I'm excited to like do my research. The thing is, because of you, you know, some people now I'm realizing, oh, I was doing entirely way too much because I started off doing like 6-leg parlays.
Yeah.
That's how I started. Not simple bets, but like 6-leg parlays. So now anything less than that, I'm just like, we need to add something to this. I need to reel it back. I need to reel it back a little bit.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's always a fun time seeing like money add up after getting the bets. I remember, I forgot what you were doing in the other room, but I was watching the game that we both put like a good amount of money on, and I think I ended up winning like $600. You won like 300 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I remember just texting, we won. and I think you texted, what? So it was a crazy situation that happened in the game, like a 2-point conversion, but that's exactly what we needed to win like hundreds of dollars. And that's the excitement about football, though. There's the phrase "any given Sunday," meaning that anybody can win.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like that with sports bets sometimes. Yeah.
That's also something else I'm learning. I'm learning how much of a roller coaster it is, because when you are invested in a team, like, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt when they lose. That part sucks. I haven't felt like that for anything until maybe thinking back. Like, that's how I felt when I played soccer and we lost a game. Like. Tears. Except I'm not crying over the Bears. It's just
not yet you aren't, because they haven't won many games. I mean, especially last year, won 3 games. But you're gonna get invested again. Justin Fields gonna get you invested. This team's gonna get you invested. You're gonna be in it and winning money and losing money probably at the same time, and that's just a roller coaster ride that is football.
We'll see. I will say this season so far, I've been the most. Well, since we've started dating, this season has been the one I feel like I'm a little bit like out of touch with. I don't really know what's going on. There's a lot of new faces, a lot of new players, and I mean the game's around the corner at this point, and I don't really know who a lot of people are. So I'm wondering, like, am I still gonna get invested this season if I don't really know these players?
They start winning, you will. Because I'll probably be talking about it. People will be talking about it. I know, like, sometimes through work you kind of do stuff affiliated with like the Bears at times. So I think it'll come naturally just with time, hopefully, if the Bears start winning. You know what we completely glanced over? I thought was also a really fun part of like our football conversation.
What?
Like when I used to cover high school football.
Oh, yeah.
And so I used to cover high school football just freelancing. I would write stories, but
Yeah.
you would tag along as my photographer. And it would be fun. It would you would bring your one camera, and
Yeah.
I would have like a credential, and I don't know. Did we get you?
Wait,
A
are we
credential?
gonna get in trouble for saying this?
No, we're not gonna get in trouble.
No? Are you
Are the
sure?
people gonna watch the couple unless they're hey, watch couples coverage and maybe no.
The
We'll be
thing
fine.
is, the thing is, we wanted to hang out because he would have to cover these games, and it would. This is when we weren't living together,
Mm-hmm.
so it would take the days that we would normally hang out. It would
Yeah.
fall on the days we would normally hang out. So
Friday nights.
Friday nights, and it's like, okay, well, I'd go with you because we can do something afterwards. It would make sense to like come back this way and then go get me again. So, or go back whatever. Anyway, so
Yeah.
we would just like come up with the plan. I would take my camera because I have a point and shoot camera.
Mm-hmm.
And sorry, a DSLR, and I would just pretend like we would pretend like we weren't dating or anything. We were just colleagues.
We were colleagues. We were covering the game,
tagging
as
along to
professionals do.
take pictures, and
So we covered a Saturday mid-afternoon game or Saturday morning, forget exactly the time, and your picture ended up being in the paper. Like you took the picture, excuse me, and like it was perfect because it like showed the offense and defense, and unfortunately it said photography taken or photo taken by Nicholas Moreano.
I know.
In there it should have been Stephanie Abonce because
sue.
you were the one who took the picture.
I'm gonna sue this paper.
I mean, it was a good photo, and you did a great job, and sneaking in, being a journalist. So,
and I would sit in the press box too with you.
Oh yeah. There were times you were sitting in the press box,
And
high school press box.
I would get very paranoid just because I knew I was doing something wrong. I knew I was doing something sneaky. So whenever people would look at me too closely, I would pretend to like take notes, and I was literally just writing like, "Where are we gonna get food after?"
I mean, honestly, if okay, this sounds bad, but if you have like a notepad and you look like you belong, you can look like a reporter.
Don't sneak into high school.
No, don't do it.
Don't do that.
But I mean, I was covering the game. I was taking notes. I was writing, and I was getting you were taking some pictures there, and we were just hanging out on a Friday. It was another way for us to hang out while I was kind of doing work.
Yeah, and I still did what I said I was doing. Taking pictures.
Yeah, you were taking pictures.
I was taking pictures.
Yeah, so that's again another thing that we've in our topic about football, like we found ways to integrate it into our daily lives in a way, right? Just kind of hanging out, and that's why we went to Iowa City to go hang. Like obviously we went to the game, but you were able to see Iowa City where I went to school, and we got to go to the bar, Brothers, which was out there, and kind of hang out there. So
this kind of reminds me of our work-life balance one. Where I think we mentioned like it helps, or I think someone left Ophi left a comment where like it helps to include your significant other in what you do. And because it is such a big part of what you do, I feel like, I mean, I think best case scenario, it just worked out that like I found a natural interest in it, because I did say even before we started dating, I do remember saying like, I want to learn about this stuff. Like I want to learn about sports. I want someone to like teach me, because I see how passionate people get about it. And it's just nice to have something to root for, So it just worked out that way, that I did find like a natural interest because I wanted to. And obviously like, who better else than like you to like teach me everything?
No, I mean that's a good point, and I do, and again I appreciate like you backing me up in everything that I do with covering the Bears and giving me time, and allowing me to kind of do what I do. But I know it can be tough, obviously, especially it's going to get tough, like especially during this portion of the year. But we'll still make ways to kind of integrate that work-life balance. I know there's a couple of trips that maybe you can tag along with me as I'm going to go cover these games, so we'll get to some opportunities to kind of explore, still be together, and still me doing like my job. But I think that's kind of the cool part too. It's like I'm bringing you into essentially my main passion. It is football. I loved playing it. I was when it all ended in high school, I remember being like, well, this is it. Like, I'm never going to get to play this again. I'm never going to get to put on the helmet again. And I never did after high school, but it was cool finding a different way to explore my passion for football in this form, like talking about it, podcasts, writing, reporting.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really cool to get to be a part of that. And I'm glad that you get to, be a part of what I do, because it does mean a lot to me. And I know that you're always there to back me up no matter what. So it's awesome.
Of course. And now I'm just learning without even trying.
Yeah, now you're just saying names. You're finishing, like, I'll say, like, Kyler, and you'll probably say
Gordon.
See? There it goes. Yeah.
This you talking about like high school and stuff, this just always like reminds me how I just always think that if we had known each other in high school, like we would not have dated.
Why is that?
High school.
Why
like this guy was like playing football and I'm over here in like varsity choir.
I mean, that sounds like
I just feel like opposites.
Sounds like a TV show. Like I definitely wasn't a football star by any means, but I played on the football team.
Yeah.
And, finds
I was
a
over
cute
there
choir
singing.
girl singing. What songs would you what was your favorite song to sing?
What was my favorite song to sing?
Yeah.
Put
you on the spot.
Well, they weren't maybe the ones we would sing for graduation, because it was always like very sad, like this is it type of songs. But I don't remember what they're called at this point. If you play it, I would know how to do it. But
fun fact, I was in the 7th grade choir. Should have continued that. Could have been a whole different career trajectory.
You could have been in choir with me in high school.
I could have, yeah.
It just makes me wonder how many times we like crossed paths without knowing. We went to the same school, like.
Well, didn't your brother do taekwondo and like at
the
the same place?
place?
I mean, I was doing it at the place in Belvedere Park, which is just a local park near us. But maybe we crossed paths there.
This is so weird. I wish there was a way for you to just like scan somebody. It just tells you all the times you've like come across them.
That'd be kind of.
That's what I want AI to do.
Be kind of creepy too.
Not in I don't know. I just want to know. There's this thing called the red string theory.
Okay.
That it talks about like I forget exactly what it is, but it just talks about this like theory where two people who are meant to be together have this like red string tied around their pinkies or something. And it just signifies that like those people are always going to keep in close proximity. Mm-hmm. Because they're like meant to be together, so they have a string that like keeps them close together. And it's just like shows there's sometimes where people talk about how like they end up with someone and then like in a childhood picture they see themselves in the background.
Okay, yeah, I remember you telling me this. That's crazy to think about.
Well, high school makes sense, but it was always crazy to me how close we lived together. Or how close we were. Even when I ended up moving and it was closer to you. But even before we moved, you still had like your cousins that you would play with. Yeah,
that's right. And you said you would see the trampoline that was at their house that I would always be at.
Yes. In the summer, we used to go on family walks. And we used to always pass this house and we were like, that house has a trampoline, but there's a fence. So we couldn't really see. We just could see like kids hopping on it, and we knew that was the house of trampoline. Come to find out, that was his cousin's house, and he would go there a lot during the summer.
Yeah, I would go. I think the last time I actually went there is where we were playing, trying to chase my cousin underneath the trampoline, and I was trying to chase him, dislocate my elbow, so it just popped out of place. But I was always there. We were always there. They had the trampoline. It was always a fun time. And maybe one of those times where I was hopping off the trampoline, I was like, hey, who's that?
That is just so crazy to me.
It is crazy.
But anyways, does that do it for episode 7?
Yeah, I mean, we bounced around a bunch of different
Yeah.
football topics, but I think we did talk about everything. We talked about like the college football experience, NFL experience, high school,
Yeah.
what it means, and then how it does mean, different things to both of us. But
We didn't really get into that part too much, but I'd rather not almost.
it is right here too. So I guess we're
Sensitive.
about to go through football season, but I wouldn't want to go through it with anybody other than you, babe. I know it's
No.
gonna be a grind for both of us.
Here, buttering me up.
Buttering you up, trying to, yeah. I'll have to take you out to dinner or something, or
Okay.
multiple times.
I'll take that.
Multiple times throughout the season, but
Picnic. On the
picnic.
beach.
We have to go. Yes, you got the picnic, the cover.
Blanket.
Do we still have the stand or no? We end up returning that.
I
because it's too
returned
small.
it. It's too small.
Too small. But we'll end up definitely doing something. But I just want to say thank you to everyone that has already watched or listened to couples coverage, has stayed and watched and listened to this episode. Really appreciate all of you, and for all you football fans out there, we've made it. Let's go. But again, thank you. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast. I don't even think I said that in the beginning. So now
Go subscribe.
go subscribe on YouTube, on Spotify.
Get us to 100.
Yes, get us to 100 subscribers, and then
We're going to do a giveaway at 100.
yeah, I think that sounds like a great idea. We'll have to plan out what we want to give away, but I think if we get to 100 subscribers on YouTube, we're going to do a giveaway. So, sounds like a plan. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your week, and you know where you'll find the next episode here next Wednesday. But until then, see ya.
Bye.